All right. In the top left side of the map, we've got Team Liquid's CLEM. And he's going up against Dark in the bottom right for Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It's the grand finals of the weekly ESL Cup. CLEM taking out Beyond and a bunch of other beasts. Dark just dominating Max Packs. Dominating Lambo. Well, the Lambo series was pretty close, let's be fair. But definitely both players showing some flair. Dark has been playing proper Dark in a weekly cup. You guys know how he just looks like he doesn't care when he plays weekly cups. He gets supply blocked constantly. His builds have looked like utter garbage. And then he finds a way to win no matter what with these crazy attacks. He was quite far behind, down to just 50 drones after a lot of harassment from Max Packs. And then he just went, oh, YOLO, grabbed his Roachling, killed him. The next game, he did a 50 drone mass Zergling build with only slow banelings. And after the 7th wave finally overwhelmed, he had adrenal glands. Despite having no baneling speed and no other tech except Zerglings. It was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. A classic Dark experience. Speaking of which, Clem's actually looking to block his expansion. Dark, I think, is just going to steal one of these gases, but he better hurry up and do it. Ooh, okay. Does get the extractor down at least. But notice the drone can regen, so he can hop out and try to fight the SCV. And he's going to do just that. The SCV does block, but it's now within 1 hit of dying. And look at that. He's using the SCV to block him from gas stealing to hide. So the drone will go down, which is nice that he confirms the kill. Zerglings will sneak out, but the Reaper knows this move is coming, so he pulls back. Dark realizes the Reaper's not coming back in, so he pulls the Zerglings back. Both players playing very reactive StarCraft. I love it. Third base is on the way. Now Dark's got a third Queen building. Should be building more Overlords right now, because you definitely hate for your Lava Inject to pop and be supply blocked. There we go, Overlord does start. Third command center behind it for CLEM. Nice solid opening. Now, I just checked the head-to-head stats. Remember that Dark used to beat CLEM something like 8 wins for every loss, 9 wins for every loss. Massive advantage. He was a full nemesis. I checked the stats from January 1st this year to today, the 12th of December. Dark has won 6 out of 22 series. So CLEM has won 16, Dark has won 6. CLEM has been dominating him. Dark is just not good enough to keep up with CLEM. His builds are way too rough. He simply cannot win with Ling Bane almost ever against CLEM unless he catches him off with like a big surprise move. And even then, you can catch him off and CLEM still fights back and gets back in the game a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, in the late game, Dark looks competitive, but very rarely actually wins anymore, whereas he used to always kind of find these ways to make magic happen in the late game. It hasn't been like that in a while. CLEM's been kind of dominating him. Always drops a map here or there, but in a best of 5, I do heavily favor CLEM. 2 Cyclones are going to be moving out. It's going to be a 2-1-1 behind that. Oh, I quite like this play. There is an SCV in the way. We'll move out. Starport goes there. We should see a reactor go down to build Medivacs. The 2 Alien, 2 Cyclone opening is not a bad one. They are just chilling at home right now. I think he's almost like hoping to bait Dark into running Zerglings in. But Dark's being patient. Does his Overlord see these Cyclones coming? If it does, he should pull these Overlords back. Otherwise, he's going to be losing them. Dark didn't notice. It's a bummer. Wasn't looking at his minimap. He's going super quick Lair and Second Gas and Baneling Nest, which means Dark is either doing a crazy Baneling speed all in, or he's drunk, or maybe he's playing Mutalisks. Could be playing for a fast Mutas. It's a bad map for it. It's a small map. And it's got some dead space, but not as much as you'd like. These 2 Overlords we talked about. If Dark was noticing those Cyclones move out, he could have stopped that. His Lings are going around. They're looking for the wraparound on this. Clem should put it back in his pants, holster it, and get out of here. You do not want to lose these units. He's got plenty of Marines to defend at home. Should be able to easily defend the Zerglings. If the Zerglings can trap the Hellion Cyclone, that'll be worth it. Ooh, gets a full scout. Nice. Sees the bio transition. Not that that's particularly surprising. And goes in. If he kills the SCV on the barracks, that'd be hilarious. Hellion Cyclone is going to see these Zerglings over here. Clem not getting surprised by anything. He's killed a bunch of units so far this game. Denied the third base for a little bit. And indeed, it is an insanely fast Baneling speed for Dark. Wow. A double evolution chamber. Maybe he thought it was quick Banshee, so he was like, oh, I better get, Overseers available. Or it's Dark, so he was just clicking things at random times, one or the other. 59 workers, and he's only on 3 gas, about to take a 4th. 7 more workers are building, but right now Dark has nothing to defend this Stim Marine Cyclone push. Oh god, Dark! He's got a bunch of Queens and a few Zerglings, but he's just spent all of his money on drones. Luckily for him, the Marines don't stim in. I actually think they could overwhelm because there's really not that much to transfuse. But to be fair, just cancelling the 4th should be enough, and I don't think there's any way Dark can stop that. That's an easy cancel for Clem. Not overextending at all. Clem just playing very careful. Funnily enough, maybe missed an opportunity to straight up win the game there. He's got a third fully saturated. Second factory on the way. Fourth and fifth barracks building. And of course, his upgrades are actually ahead of Dark's. That's what we're talking about. Clem's ability to just do his normal stuff and get ahead versus Dark is a big problem. Clem is very tight, so he can handle Dark's shenanigans whilst also macroing up at the same time. Chat was saying, shh, Pig, don't tell them about the stats. The gambling wasn't over when I announced it. They're like, don't tell them. The odds were dead even, despite them all. They'd be like, guys, don't let them know that Clem dominates Dark. A lot of people still stuck in the, you know, the year ago period where Dark destroyed Clem repeatedly. Go back 2 years, Clem couldn't hold a candle to him. These days, Clem is all over it. Hydraling Bane, not a style that we see from Dark too often. Hydras are good versus Widow Mines, technically. Had a conversation with Scarlet about that after her qualifications series into Katowice. Oof. Oh, that queen! Look at that carcass! Just go flying. Whoa! Oh my god. Sorry for the eye-cracking, vomit-inducing camera work there, guys. Just when a unit goes fly to the side like that, I have to catch it. Oh, here we go. Marines dancing back and forth. The Widowmine spread is there. We got a double drop going out the left side of the map as well. And Dark's in an okay spot. He's 76 workers. He's got decent supply. His upgrades are actually ahead of the 2-2 of Clem. Clem very rarely starts his 2-2 on time. But if that drop catches him out of position, that's where things get annoying. Of course, the unit's lost tab. He's only lost 3 Marines so far this game. Nothing but that. Hasn't inflicted a lot of damage, but that's okay. Oh, the Widowmine's being left on their own. Ooh, decent Widowmines there. And the Hydras are going to start to clean things up. The double drop gets in behind the back. The drones do pull away. But there's the rest of the army trying to scramble over here. Watch out for the Widow Mines. Those Zerglings clump up, take a nasty mine to the face. Somehow it only killed 4 Zerglings. I guess they spread out as they ran through the minerals. Dropping the main base. Hive's on the way right here. Clem is taking a 4th. He's building a 5th command center next to it as well already. Equal upgrades for both sides. Overseer gets picked off. A couple of Baneling snipes, a few Zerglings. But as the Hydra start to take down the Marines, he does respond. Oh, he focuses down the Banes. The Widowmine clears the Zergling flank. Clem has a big army at home as well. This is only small sections of army that he's getting these trades off with, and he's at 4-1. Oh my gosh. 4-1 trading. Okay, guys, there's good trading, and there's whatever just happened right there. Oh me, oh my. I knew those trades were pretty clean for Clem, but damn. Damn, boy. He's got a 25 supply advantage right now. He's maxed against 175 supply Dark. Dark's trying to hang on for dear life. Clem is still mostly Marine Widowmine. Oh, and that's real derpy. Okay, Clem decided I've been really efficient this game. Let's throw that efficiency away. Tries to flush that one down the loo. Marine Widowmine coming in. He does push a bit deep here. Okay, Clem went from really messy good fights to really messy. Oh, that Widowmine got a big smear of Zerglings. Did friendly fire a bit though, so a good hot pickup. Units lost tab now closer to 2-1. Dark's going to be a bit happier about that. 3 Vipers on the way, +3 melee starts up. Adrenal Glands and +3 Carapace will, of course, be high on the priority list as well. A couple of Banes and Lings taking out those Widowmines. That Widowmine does take that single Zergling, dragging its fire away. Carapace starting. That's the most important upgrade of the tier 3, but definitely Adrenal Glands not to be scoffed at. The Hydra Bane Viper is an expensive gas army, but oh, Hellbat's in the mix as well as Widowmines. The Widowmines weren't really burrowed on that right side. The Lings are swarming. Just gotta watch out for these Widowmines on the left. Oh, not the best hits though. This is a great fight for Dark. He jumps on top with Master Zergling. Clem went from an amazing fight earlier to a really bad one. He did get a 20-kill Widowmine there that smeared a bunch of Zerglings. Is it enough to keep him alive? Looks like it. He loses a 5th command center, but he's already... Actually, sorry, he's already got a 5th landed. Oh man, he's building new command centers everywhere. Clem may have screwed up the last few fights and got it back close to even. He has still got such a good setup infrastructure-wise because he was ahead for so long. Adrenal starts for Dark, though. Dark has bought himself room to breathe. He's got creep respreading. 5th base up here in the north. Mass Ling Bane producing. 17 Hydras are out with both upgrades. 17's a lot of Hydras to have with no actual range attack upgrades, though. +3 armor Marauders will kind of laugh at them. Uh-oh, a lot of Clem's armies in the bottom left. It's not up here. Great decisiveness to push in right now. There's no medevacs here for Clem. He's got like a lot of Widow Mines coming in, but they're not really getting the big boom booms he needs to hold back this advance. He should have pulled these SCVs out. Yet he manages to scare off Dark with a small force. Oh, Dark splits the wrong Zergling. Takes a Widow Mine shot to the face. Shot to the face. I don't know how that song would go. We'll have to write the lyrics for that afterwards, use them next time. Anyways, Marine Marauder got his stim back. Hydraling Bane, Viper comes forward. Great parasitic bombs up in the guts. Oh, the Medivacs try to split. The Liberator taking big damage. The Medivacs all getting shot down. And man, Clem went from an amazing start of this game to just potentially screwing the pooch. I mean, we could give the time zone advantage and say, well, it's midday in Korea. Dark's nice and wide awake now, whereas Clem, you know, it's 4 a.m. or something in France. 5 a.m.? I don't know. What time is it? It's 9 p.m. 7 hours ago. So, yeah, it's 4 a.m. I believe it's 4 a.m. in France right now. 4:14 in the morning. But I don't know if we can make that argument. Clem goes to sleep at about 10 a.m. most days, so it's kind of hard to say that he's handicapped there. He doesn't have concussive. He almost always forgets concussive. I kind of joke about his forgetting his upgrades. He's been getting better at remembering 2-2 and 3-3, but that concussive shells upgrade never got made. And it's a bummer, because as you get way more Marauder focused, if you can slow down the Banelings, the other Zerg units get stuck behind them. 2 drones go down. Your guess is as good as mine, guys. I don't know what happened there. There's a Liberator coming in from the right side. And there's a Liberator down the bottom as well. Oh, okay. Liberator just sieging there. Liberator chilling. Giant Bio Army coming forwards. It's still just Hydraling Bane Viper. Dark doesn't have any special tools here, and Clem still has way more money in the bank despite trading very badly in the last few minutes. Oh, Widow Mines are going off on the Overseers. The Marines, the Marauders trying to start a setback. You can really see the lack of concussive in those sorts of fights. I do like those parasitic bombs. Units lost is dead even for both sides. Planetary on the left with some bio backing it up. Very scary to deal with. Widow Mine fires on only a single unit. Clem's going to shove the right side. Where is Dark's army? He's remaxing on Zerglings right now. He doesn't have them ready. The Widow Mine friendly fires a lot of those units down. Those ghosts are on the way, as well as more Widow Mines. He wants to play this mobile, fast-moving style, does Clem. He doesn't like turtling. He doesn't like going on the super defensive. Clever move for Dark to split some Zerglings, get to Sensor Tower, find some exposed SCVs. Widow Mines will come up and try to deal with those Zerglings, along with a few Marines and a Ghost. Ghost can two-shot the Zerglings. He's going to take out a base in the bottom as well. Ooh, with 4 more command centers building. Clem is building up to the Iron Bank. He's building up to endgame. That's a lot of Banelings, though. Oh, my lord. 50 Banelings coming in. Clem's going to try and get out of there. He's got to bring the rest of his army home. It's on its way home, but it's not there yet. He leaves a few units behind. He's got to survive. This is not about killing this army of Darks. It's about just surviving with anything left over. You can lose a base. You can lose a bunch of workers. You've got to hang on as Clem. The rest of his army is on the south. It's still not back here. It's taking way too long. The Banelings are breaking through the worker line, but look, he's still got the squad on the right, and he's got the squad coming up the natural at the same time as well. They're starting to get value. That being said, his production has been ransacked. Viper's dropping parasitic bombs. These guys down here pulling back. The army needs to get back in there and fight, but the Hydraling Bane Viper is just so scary. 33 SCVs have gone down. He's lost so many workers. EMP does go down. The production is finally starting to stabilize with Marine Marauder popping out in the midst of it. The supply is surprisingly close. How many orbitals did he keep? Only 4 orbital command centers, though. And 1 that's upgrading. It's going to be 5 orbitals. He was building like 3 or 4 more command centers. If Dark didn't hit that wave, Clem was going to hit 10 orbital command centers, unbeatable economy, reproduce super easily, all the good stuff. But as it is, how many Overseers has Dark lost, by the way? 10. It's a lot of Overseers, but it's been worth. And now he's going to blow up this base on the left. And that's huge. That could be game-winning. Banelings blow up the repairing SCVs. The bio does come in, start sniping Hydras, but losing an orbital and a planetary as well as 15 SCVs. Clem finds his economy back in the dumps. If he can catch this army, that'll be good, though. He's on 130 army supply versus 98. Dark's army getting cornered. If Dark was punishing him with a few more Ling Run buys on these bases, maybe he could pull Clem's attention away. But right now, Clem realizes there's just one thing I got to do, and that's corner this army. Dark realizes he has to turn and fight at some point. So he turns on one of these flanking forces, tries to engage as best he can. The Lings do go for that counter swing we were talking about, and they are going to find some of this damage. Hydras will take out that Liberator. Down here, though, Dark's army is mostly cornered. Still no concussive shells, really hurting Clem. It's very, very rough for him to not have concussive. I think this is an entirely different game if he has that upgrade. I'm training Pig well. He's starting to notice I'm feeling concussive. Every game he forgets it. It's every game. Parasitic bombs going out on the libs. The Hydras just move straight through the lib zones before they turn to kill them. I think Bane does get some of the ghosts, but man, Dark just didn't have that much money from earlier in this game. And keep in mind, if he can't keep this base mining in the top, which Clem's about to pounce on, I think Clem can take him out. Clem's economy does not have a lot of longevity. One bad fight, and Dark is in the lead for sure. But oh no, Clem turns south. He could have killed that whole base of mining workers, but he F2'd to the south. Okay, he's going to send a few units up there, but if this was that whole squad, it'd be a different story. He's going to get a bit of damage. He should have got potentially massive, massive damage. And that Ghost will go down. He doesn't have Cloak, does he? Nope. Ghost gets around and does do the Marines and Marauders. Other units come over as well, but he's got to get out of here. Okay, the whole army moving north. The Zerglings down there denying this base. Clem on 5 bases, floating an orbital out to a 6th. 68 workers only for Dark. Dark has 3/3/2 upgrades, +2 on the range, that is. Marine Marauder Lib trying to siege up. The Hydraling Bane falling back. Viper usage is going to need to be absolutely amazing. Blinding Clouds in the mix, as well as Parasitic Bombs. Maybe Abducts on the Libs would be nice as well. Yes, Liberators and Medevacs take damage, but this base is getting isolated. Baneling's unable to connect. Massling on the rally, going to be going forwards. Widowmine's shooting on single Zerglings. Dark's micro exceptional. He needs Liberators on top of his production, but that means his natural and third are both taking big, big damage. A few SCVs running away to safety, trying to gather up there. Army's going deep on creep. Clem cannot overextend. If he loses this army, Dark is all over his economy and production right now. Like, Clem's eventually going to stabilize at home, but if he loses this army, he may lose the game. Hydra's jumping on top. I think that's a good hot pickup there for Clem. He may have lost one full medevac, but he saves the rest of it. His starport goes down, so he's only got 7 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport up. No add-ons on the factory or the starport. Does have 12 medevacs and 3 liberators. Concussive shells finally got remembered in this game, guys, so that is going to help him slow down these Zerglings. Hydra's over there. Hatchery down here gets found. Uh-oh, Dark struggling to defend this economy. If you could just stabilize on one of these bases, it feels like he could overrun Clem, because Clem's economy is absolutely shite. It's not good, man. We've got the planetary in the top. Massling run, but I think this is a great way to play it for Dark. Just keep going around. Why would you do anything else? Get on the production time after time. Drones running away. Parasitic bombs go out in the medevacs. Oh, Clem a bit slow on the spready. Does keep a lot of the medevacs alive, but they do a fair bit of splash damage, don't they? The Liberators as well. The medevac died next to the Liberators, so the Parasitic bomb just stayed next to them doing more damage. Double Lib comes in. Dark's ready for it. Dark shuts it down. This game's scrappy, it's down and dirty. Both players' income is in the dumps. 57 workers for Dark, 43 for Clem. From an amazing, stellar start, a massive lead for Clem. He finds himself in a awkward, low economy, scrappy war. It's Dark's forte. He's so good in these sorts of games. Somehow he saved 6 Marines. I don't even know how he got those out of there. Feels like Dark has just got this decisive ability to play through these positions and somehow make something of it. Couple mineral lines are mining. Clem's going to try and take the bottom base. Interesting. He's got a few widow mines down there. 2 in the mineral line and 2 there. Those widow mines actually... Oh, actually, one even on the left. It's a good place for him to fight. He's just got so few units helping defend the planetary that if Dark wants to, he could bust it. The problem is it worth it for Dark to bust that planetary? A planetary with a pack of bio defending it, you're going to need a lot of banelings. You're going to lose a lot of units. A lot of those units won't come home. I feel like keeping your army alive and denying the new bases and, you know, controlling the map is probably more important for Dark. Dark's done a good job of respreading his creep. He's actually still got a fair amount of creep control. He's trying to retake that top hatchery at this stage. Zergling's running into widow mines. He realizes, hey, there's probably an orbital down there, and he's correct. Bio is nearby. CVs and Mules going to take some damage. Adrenal Zerglings with +3. Nice pocket trick there for Clem. Hides the SCVs for a moment. Uh-oh. He's attacking on the north. Watch out for the Vipers. The Parasitic Bombs could ruin his day, man. Nice Abduct. That's Dark's whole army. Abduct's a Liberator. Cleans up a lot of that force. And if you get Parasitic Bombs all over that army with the Vipers, you can wreck. The EMPs on the Vipers do pretty well. He's out of EMPs now. There's still a bit of energy on those Vipers. Mass Marine Marauder run in. Oh, the drone's trying to get out of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 drones go down just like that, as will the hatchery. Just enough space in those medevacs to save the majority of these Marines. You'll have to leave 1 Marauder behind if he loads up. Or 2 Marines. Could clear the creep as well, would be nice. But when you're using almost everything for mules, it's hard to rationalize using a lot of scans. Armies both in the north and the south at the same time. Clem is maxed out. He's got back to a big army supply advantage, and it looks like even in the messy scenarios, he's found a way back into it. I like that he kills the Infestor, even though he takes a big fungal. Loses a bunch of medevacs as well, but attacking around the corners a no-go. Dark has to back off. Dark fighting so darn well, keeping the units lost tab dead even. You can imagine if Dark could keep the trading like this in a game where he's not so far behind for so long in the early game, it'd be an entirely different match. He'd be absolutely unbeatable. But this has been the dichotomy of Dark for the longest time. Just absolutely perfect at playing from behind, but sometimes he still loses, even while playing perfectly, because he is so rough and so sloppy in that early game. Oh, Baneling's coming forward. Okay, Widowmine's trying to fire. Banelings do get cleaned up. We've got 51 drones against 57 SCV. Still a 30 army supply advantage. The Banelings need to get on top, but the Marauders and the Ghosts take those Banelings. The Marines are still there. Dark's desperately trying to hang on. I feel like Infestors was a great choice, but he lost that Infestor right after fungling. The new 7-range Infestor, even though I still think it's massively powerful and great, I do think I love that it has to get close enough now that the Marauders can kind of split and focus it down. It feels like there's a really cool dance between the modern Infestor against top-tier Terran. Used to be an 8-range cast. Uh-oh. Ooh, good Widowmine clearance there by Dark, but he can't stand and fight with the Mass Marine Marauder. Hydras do have +2 attack, so they're not too bad. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh, but Clem. Wait, but Dark jumps on top. He abducts 1, 2, 3 full medevacs. Oh my lord. Clem, though, is killing a hatchery and 8 drones at the same time, spreading his Widowmines down here. I thought Clem was pulling off a really smart move, but Dark is a very aggressive player. A lot of players would instantly pull back to defend. He runs forward to attack, realizing Clem's focus is elsewhere. And I love that he used Abduct. I've talked a lot about how Zergs are so used to dropping Parasitic Bomb, they get in a scenario like that, and they just drop Parasitic Bomb, which is a very slow damage spell. When it's like, hey, dude, you have a bunch of Hydras. Those medevacs are picking up infantry. Abduct them and shoot them down instantly. It's good to see Dark doing that move and not letting them escape. $11 Marines being built at a time. A few Marauders, a few Ghosts, 6 medevacs. Looks like a Zergling goes in, is going to take out a few of those SCVs. A few Overseers up the top, set up maybe to pop Nidus Worms. Maybe he did that earlier, but he never actually got the Nidus Worm. Massling's going to clear this base. He sees it coming. The SCVs are going to run. Lifts the command center. Good moves by Clem. Parasitic Bomb does force those medevacs to split. There are still only about 5 or 6 medevacs on the map. Great EMP, only 1 Viper's energy left over. Marauders are up front. The Marines looking good. You don't ever want to get hit by those Banelings. Oh my god. Clem trying to force the fight. He's got the numbers. There aren't many Banelings. Blinding Clouds seem nice, but there's not much behind it. It's mostly just a handful of Hydras and Queens. The Queen's starting to fall on the right side of that battle. The Hydras as well, but the Lings coming in from the left. Widowmines are firing on them. There's a planetary that he can fall back to. A good enough trade for Clem. He should be able to defend this planetary with the repair. He's got that fallback point, and he's just going to be able to keep on just getting this tax from Dark of saying, you have to fight into me. My units are more efficient. Look at this micro, and that is going to force Dark out of an epic game 1. What a way to start the series. All right. We got Clem in the bottom right side of the map, representing Team Liquid. Dark in the top left. Dark, man, he made a real game out of that, didn't he? He won a lot of fights. His units trading was really good. I love the cloaked Thor that's constructing on this map, by the way. Cool little bit of terrain. Okay, so I did have some people say, you know, I love watching StarCraft. Never played. I don't really know what's going on. Let's do a bit of a noob-friendly cast just for the early game of this one, okay? So this here is the Reaper. He's got a jetpack. When he's out of combat, he can inject combat drugs and heal himself up. Super fast, super maneuverable. He's an expensive unit. Costs 50 minerals and 50 gas. But super fast, good harassment unit. Can't really stand and fight with the Queens, but he can pick off the Zerglings and the drones pretty much non-stop with that move and shoot micro, or stutter step, as we call it, where you move, shoot, and you never really let the enemy close with you if you've got a range advantage or a speed advantage, of which he has both. Now the Zerglings pop out 2 at a time. These are your bitey boys. Oh, and he's building 6 more of them. So Dark's rushed Ling speed really quickly. He's going to try and rush over here and kill a bunch of SCVs. These units kind of suck because right now you'll notice they don't have wings. They're like little puppies, little bugs. But when Ling speed kicks in, metabolic boost, that upgrade's going to finish in about 10 seconds. They're going to pop wings out. And oh, did the Reaper see it? I think the Reaper saw it. I think he realizes Dark's doing a sneaky. And he should know to stay at home. He's probably going to try and hunt these down, but he's got to be careful. Lings are about to pop out of those backs. There we go. Lings just popped out of the Zerglings. They're going to try and ambush the Reaper. They are now the much quicker unit. Clem pretty good with his micro. He threw a grenade at his feet. They throw like a little grenade. Only does 5 damage, which is next to nothing in StarCraft, but it does bounce the nearby units away. Third command center's gone up on the high ground, so that's Clem rushing to a 3-base setup. You can float your buildings as Terran, so he'll float his building down to his 3rd when it's safe to take it. That is a massive Ling flood, though. Dark is just doing a giant Ling all-in. Clem, you need to pull those Hellions back. If these Hellions get surrounded by the Zerglings, it's pretty much game over. But if he can pull his Hellions back up his ramp, they do count as Zerglings, but you need to micro them to make them do that. These Zerglings are going to counter those guys. Oh, and here we go. Some of his Hellions move out. Clem not watching. Clem not watching. His Hellions are getting surrounded on 3 sides. There's no way he can micro his Hellions in 3 different places at once. A giant Ling ambush. Dark waited in the shadows. He knew that Clem likes to be aggressive with those Hellions. Waited for them to move out. Ambushed the ones on the front, which prompted Clem to bring even more out into the danger zone. And now the workers are stuck fighting Zerglings on their own. Good micro by Clem, but oh man, he is taking a lot of damage. And behind this, Dark is droning up. We can see in the production tab, he cut a lot of economy just focused on army, but he's found big damage with it. And while this fight's going on, he's gone back to building economy behind it. So he is just going massive, massive drones. Now Dark has his 3rd mineral line filled with workers. So he's got 3 bases mining. Compare that to Clem. Clem has 1 base with 2 gases, and he's got a few SCVs moving to his natural or 2nd expansion. We call it a natural expansion, because there's always a base that's just below your main base that is the natural one to take, and from there it's always a choice in which base you want to take as your 3rd, your 4th, and your 5th. I'll stop on the newbie casting for now, but we can try that again another day and explain some more things. It's good to mix in some more newbie casting details, explain things for the newcomers, something we forget to do. Banshee is not going to find any damage. The Spore Crawler is a detector. It detects in a big radius around it as well as shoots up. So it reveals the invisible units. But when it's over here, you can see Dark. You can see a bit of a blur, a bit of a shimmer. You can't actually target that Banshee with anything. You could try to throw a spell on the ground like a Corrosive Bile. And if Clem's dumb enough to walk into it, it could still hit it. But pretty rare for that to happen. So Dark has a massive advantage. If Dark manages to lose this game, it will be severely embarrassing for him. But you know what, guys? He's going triple Evo Chamber. The Troll Dark is going to play the same style as last game, I believe, but he's going to have range, melee, and carapace upgrades. He's far enough ahead to do it as well, so I can't fault him for it. But if he loses a game after this start, it would be almost impressive that he manages to lose from such, from such a good start. One upgrades do start up. 1-1 upgrades on the way for Clem as well. It is funny. I think sometimes noobs ask really interesting, like just basic questions like, oh, why does this happen? But because there's a lot of people in StarCraft who are also like, why are these pros so stupid? Why don't they just do the strategies I want them to do? They're so dumb. This build works for me really well on Ladder and Platinum League. They're so stupid for not doing it. There's like comments that are actually often from new players who just want to like understand the game. They're like, hey, how come they did that? But people read it as if it's like the Platinum League player telling the pros what to do. And they're like, oh, that's stupid. That's a bad build. Why would they do that? They're pro gamers. And they don't actually answer the question. This happens sometimes in like really hardcore communities online where people can't tell someone who's like trolling or someone with a bit of an interesting, abrasive personality, let's put it that way. And someone who genuinely is a newcomer and wants to learn. I've been guilty of it myself. But good to see some people in my Twitch chat and comments lately just kind of engaging in open discussion and answering obvious questions. I often think one of the most toxic things is everyone kind of assuming in any discussion that everyone is on the same wavelength as them, and there's like no restating or reframing of the basics to talk like, so no one, people end up arguing about completely different things, thinking that they're saying different things to what they are. Anyways, I'm sure you guys have seen this in different environments, but definitely see it in StarCraft a lot. Nice split on the Zerglings for Dark. He will stop the Hellions. And they're only going to get a couple drones. If he gets in between the mineral line there. Oh, he's going to morph into Hellbat as well. That's cute. I like that. He's going to get a drone? Oh, not quite. Marines redropping the low ground. I'm getting some good value out of these units. Not able to kill the 4th base. And to be fair, that's the 5th base. Actually, the 4th base is here. Clem knows about it as well. Clem's like, oh god, man, I'm so behind. He's starting his 4th base at 8 minutes. He's got another double drop. He needs to micro his way out of hell. 1-1 has finished with +1 range about to finish as well for Dark. We don't mind Marines coming in. Ooh, okay. Combat Shields is about halfway done. 2-2 started. Big Widowmine hit on the left side. He's got to be careful. Can't be throwing these medevacs away. A random drone in the fight. I love that there's a Captain D head in there. He wanted to be one of the boys. Wanted to join the battle and march to war. The Overseer finally coming over to clean up that Widowmine. But man, look at this creep spread. It's oppressive. 2 medevacs split to the right. 2 medevacs to the left. Clem is trying to make Biomine. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Dark is just going to mass Hydraling Bane. And even if Dark doesn't crush a fight, once he maxes out and makes about 40-50 Banelings, he's just going to go kill Clem. And I guarantee you, even if Clem micros really well, does a few good fights, when you're this far behind, you shouldn't win in a StarCraft game. He took pretty much game-ending damage. And I want to be honest about that. And some people say, why'd he kill the hype? Well, I don't want you to see the game suddenly finish and think, hey, Clem microed that pretty well. Why'd he lose anyway? You know, I always want to represent exactly what's happening in the game for you all. Don't get me wrong. I've seen Clem make comebacks from situations like this. He could do it, but it would be very impressive for him and a combination of also very mistake-ridden for Dark. A comeback from this sort of situation relies on both Clem playing excellently and Dark making at least a few mistakes. Yeah, he's getting ready for it, guys. He's maxed out. He's got a million Banelings morphing, and it's a giant spready. The Widowmines need big hits. They're not able to get them just yet. These Widowmine hits are not enough. He's running the SCVs. The Marines doing what they can. There's still more Widowmines and Banshees behind it. The Baneling count is insane. Staggeringly large Baneling count. It does look like maybe there weren't any Overseers left. I think the Overseers all got killed. So he actually couldn't deal with the Banshees or the Widowmines. Dark has to pull back. Clem with an impressive hold. He can send his SCVs back to mining. He's got a 4th trying to morph into a planetary on the left. The fact that Clem's supply is climbing at all is impressive. I still don't think it's very possible to defend the next wave of 82 work or just mass Hydraling Bane. +2 range is going to kick in, which means it's going to be 2-2-2. That being said, 2-2 is also done for Clem. Oh man, good Widowmine hits on the Zerglings, but there's more Banelings and Hydras behind it. I like that the SCV's pulled out of there. The command center could potentially get focused. Clem's micro is next level right now. 7 SCVs go down, but so do 5 drones. Looks like the Banshees went in for a bit of a counterattack. They finally get shot down. Ooh. Hydraling Bane looks a lot easier to micro than Marine Medevac Marauder Mine. ZVT is all about momentum and tempo. Whoever's got the tempo, it's much harder to be the other player. It's much easier to be the player with tempo. That's basically how it works. Marine Widowmine is definitely a little more fragile individually, but it also has a much higher skill ceiling. Oh my lordy lord. Oh, and if you keep the pressure up, you see, notice the Ling Bane can't really close. So there's this thing where, don't get me wrong, you can definitely argue it's easier to just A-move Hydraling Bane. If you both A-move and don't micro, the Zerg army is better. But once you get good pre-spreads and stuff and good micro, the Zerg can't do that much about it. It's more about the positioning and decision-making. You can see that the numbers are overwhelming. Dark not overcommitting, looking to try and clear those SCVs, and that is a massive fight for Dark. Very well played by Dark. And he pulls back because he doesn't want to lose his Hydras. He's like, look, okay, if you chase into my Arca Hydras, I'll take the fight. I know it's hard to see what's going on, guys. There's not many Marines under there. Zerglings come in. They all get cleaned up. The Lings, the Hydras, the Overseers, overwhelming. Clem cannot hang on. A mass Ling YOLO from Dark gets the job done. GG, well played. All right, up here in the top right side, we've got Team Liquid's Clem. Series is tied up 1-1. He got caught off by a bit of aggression, so he says low ground Barracks Reaper plus proxy Barracks Reaper. He mined out these minerals over here. Wait, there or in the middle? Oh, he mined the middle. Oh, people usually don't check the middle, so he mined the middle open so he could build this barracks. And he's going to be rallying 2-Rax Reaper in, but he's making it look, at least to this Overlord, like it's single barracks. Especially, a lot of the Koreans run the Overlord back, because there was a week or two where all the, like, Byun kept building Marines after 2 Reapers and killing their Overlord. So I wonder if Dark keeps going forward with his scouting, it's good, because then he'll realize there's no command center. But if he turns around and pulls back, it's bad for Dark. Dark's continuing with this Overlord. Now, the reason is he's going to realize, wait a second, you should have started the command center at 1:40. Why did you start it at 2:10? That's 30 seconds late. He must have put those minerals somewhere, so he should know that there's an extra barracks on the map. He's got very quick Ling speed already on the way, and he's actually left workers mining gas, which is super weird. I'd say that's because he's doing some sort of fancy build order, but it's Dark. He's probably just doing an all-in. He probably just forgot to pull them off. Uh-oh, the Reapers do kill 1 drone. Very nice micro for Clem. Ooh, oh, the Lings. Nice trap for the Lings, but not enough to actually kill the Reaper. And keep in mind, 3 Reapers is the magic number. The reason is it takes 6 Reapers to one-shot a drone. I believe it's 5 to one-shot a Zergling. Oh, that Reaper's very low. He's got to jump down the ledge. Notice there's a little ledge there. There's only a few areas you can jump up and down cliffs with these jetpacks. This map has a ledge here between the natural and the third base, which is really nice. So the Reapers are going to damage that hatchery, get a lot done. And you notice here, he's building a factory and a reactor. So he's kind of done building Reapers for now. He's like, that's fine. We'll just kill this hatchery and go home. Little does he know, though, Dark has made a very quick link speed and is massing Zerglings. And he's going to go and try to kill him back at home. And if he can stop these Reapers getting home, that's going to be massive. The hatchery did cancel, so he gets a partial refund, 75%. But the drone dies as well. When you cancel that, the drone pops out and the Reaper kills it. SCV is going to repair the depot. The SCV on the factory is going to get exposed, but notice, look at that. He can use that ledge to get behind his wall off. Puts a new SCV on the factory, and that means as the Zerg, Dark built 26 Zerglings, and what did he do? He may have forced the Reapers home, but he doesn't kill any of the Reapers. He only kills one SCV. His third hatchery gets cancelled. It's a bad opening for Dark. It's a great opening for CLEM, because CLEM already has his third base finished, even though Terran is meant to expand slower than Zerg, whereas Dark has just started his third base, and he's only now caught up in the worker count. As you can see down the bottom, he's still down 2 workers. So I say he's just caught up. He hasn't really, and he's planning a Baneling bust all in. He's taken a second gas, a Baneling nest. Dark realizes he's far behind in this game, and he says, you know what? If I go for an all-in, maybe I can win. Clem, silly move for Clem. Runs out and just gets surrounded by the mass Zergling. He should know there's an Overlord on this pillar. But I think what Dark's going to do is he might even wait, knowing that Clem is going to try to lift the factory and use Cyclones to kill the Overlord. Oh, look at that, though. The bunker is up. I like that there's a bunker up, and you'll notice, why is this engineering bay or SCV standing there? He thinks there's a Baneling bust. Seeing the Zerglings right outside his base, he's like, oh, I think I'm getting Bane busted. So he's going to react by building an engineering bay here, which is a very meaty structure to stop these Banelings, these suicide Zerglings, basically, the Baneling, from blowing up the wall and getting in. Problem is, he moved the SCV away, so Clem doesn't think it's happening anymore. Uh-oh. He might just die. He might just die, guys. If he doesn't wall off, because this is such a fragile wall, the depot and the reactor will blow up to just 5 Banelings. There's going to be way more Banelings and tons of Zerglings behind that. He's got a bunker. If he can keep the bunker up, maybe. Oh, he's got to get out of here. He's got to get out of here behind the bunker, but his units are getting surrounded. I mean, the bunker might survive, but the Lings can just run in the main. There's no wall off on the high ground because he's walled on the natural instead. The SCVs have to simply run to the natural, in my opinion. He's trying to actually pull here. Does he wall off the front? Oh, he walled off the front with an engineering bay. There's a random Baneling on the left. Notice he's stacking the SCVs in the pocket. He tries to pull out and fight, but the SCVs are not really very good fighters. They will get wrecked by Zerglings. There is a Banshee out, a flying unit. There is nothing that shoots up for Zerg. A flying unit will be amazing in this scenario. There's nothing in the bunker. The SCV's taking big damage. Units trying to get back. There's a random Baneling that just gets shot down. The SCV's repairing the barracks. He holds on. Dark was doing a desperate all-in. He needed to kill him. He could not just get a bit of damage, but he didn't get enough Banelings inside. Good defense by Clem. Really good scramble to survive. All right, guys. We've got Clem down here in the bottom right side. Only needs one more game to close out this finale. It was a banging game 1. I do hope that Dark isn't demotivated by the fact that he couldn't win despite taking amazing fights. But that all comes back to the early game, and there's a very easy solution for this, and that's put Dark back in the SKT team house from 2016, where the man was forced to practice 8 hours a day, 10, 12 hours a day with coaches, telling him what builds to do and helping him refine his builds. Because I gotta tell you, Dark brings back that refinement from those early days of him becoming a top pro. Whew. With his instincts and deep pool of knowledge, I don't know if he's beatable. The man is so good at making comebacks. Reaper's going to come in. It's a pretty standard reacted factory expand behind this into a third command center for Clem. He'll be starting that in about 15 seconds. For now, the Reaper just started stepping away, having a bit of a party. It's going to get a Zergling, make it 2. Queen feels like it was very late. And he double injects. Wow. Dark not going for an early creep shim, but going straight to the double inject. I can't say that makes sense unless you're skipping Ling speed. He's skipping Ling speed. Okay. So he's going to use the extra minerals to drone up real hard, get 4 queens, and then he's going to go for roaches. I like it. Dark's comfort zone is roaches. Oh, no, he started Ling speed. It's just late. Okay. Just a special Dark build order, guys. Never mind. Second gas on the natural expansion. We've got a quick starport coming in here. The first 2 Hellions popping quite early. Clem's been really good at getting those 2 Hellions out fast, and it's a good way to limit the Zergling shenanigans that Dark can pull. Reaper going deep. This is what we call a Zero Fear Reaper, or a Virgin North American Ladder GM Reaper. Basically, it's what you can tell if your opponent doesn't have a lot of romantic opportunities. They spend all day practicing their Reaper micro, and it results in this. Reaper will actually get out of the main base. Man, it's kind of impressive the Reapers survive. Don't just run it past the Queens and lose it. No. Okay, gets it out. Reaper will heal itself with those combat drugs. Nicely done. Ling speed, 3 more Queens are on the way, and it is just droning. Dark's trying to play a lot of Ling Bane recently, but his openings lack any of the finesse. I mean, you look at Serral's openings in Zerg vs. Terran, they are the cutting edge. His variety, the different systems he uses to get advantages. Solar and his defensive proxy or multiple barracks Reaper as well, exceptional. But Dark has none of those, and that's why I'm once again going to be, you know, jaw on the floor after he wins this game and the next one off of some just amazing unit positioning, micro, some decisive attacks, some killer instinct. I actually don't think I use the term killer instinct enough when I talk about Dark. That's probably the main thing. He pushes when people don't expect him to push. Catches people with their pants down, and they make mistakes. No second Banshee on the way. That's interesting. There we go. Looks like he'd accidentally queued up a heavy gas unit somewhere. I'll start that up. Maybe it was Stim? And then I think he... Oh, I guess he cancelled Stim to start the Banshee. Now you start the Stim. There we go. That's better. Lair goes down nice and early. Very good choice there to make sure he can make Overseers. He also has a very quick 4th. Dark is trying to get away with some greed in this early game. He's got the 3 mineral lines going. Spore Crawlers also. Banshee comes in and gets 2 workers. Not too bad. Spore Crawler was just a few seconds late there. Chat's making fun of me. They said, you know, what happened to Koreans making 6 Zerglings every game? It would have gone better for him. He wouldn't have lost those Zerglings at the start. To be fair, he didn't lose any drones at the start. He only lost 2 to the Banshee. So I still think it's better to have an extra drone out and then lose 2 Zerglings. Well, it's about the same, to be fair. Oh, ow, oh, okay. Oh, man. Oh, man, his Hellions were all the way on the wrong side of the map. This is way more damage. I just assumed he had some Hellions at home, but nope. He'd moved out with all 6 and swapped the factory off the reactor without a wall off. This is why you normally build your engineering base in the wall off if you want to be 100% safe with this sort of opening, because then you can wall off with just a depot, 2 engineering bays, and another depot. But he didn't do that. He loses 6 SCVs for 12 Zerglings. Dark gets a fantastic trade. The Banshees are being tracked right now. I can't believe they're choosing to fly in when they've got 5 Queens underneath them. He's so lucky to get both of those out. Clem says the best defense is a good offense. Runs in, roasts 5 drones, turns around. That's going to cost him, though. That means the Lings are going to realize their time is nigh, and they're going to run in from both sides at once. 2 SCVs already going down. Make it 3, make it 4. Just 3 SCVs. Could have been worse for Clem. His scrambling ability to get out of trouble is next level. He's really good at just kind of shuffling around and finding a way to handle those chaotic scenarios. The Banshees here looking for the Zerglings, seeing where they're hiding. They didn't realize they hit up top. Infestation pets on the way nice and early for Dark. I do think Burrowed Infestors are one of the most goated units in this matchup. Not used nearly as early as they should be. Second factory is on the way. We got 5 barracks, 2 factories, and an armory. Medevacs are there, Overseer chilling over the base. And I like that there's a single SCV slowly repairing those Banshees. They're mostly defensive units for the rest of this game. Double drop with some Marines and Widow Mines moving north. Hellions are still on the south, just ready to stop any Ling run bys. No 4th command center just yet. Not Overseer, just hanging out. A couple of these guys pretending to be the boys. They're both changelings that pretend to be Marines, according to their opponent's vision at least. Marines and Widow Mines running forward. Here we go! Okay, Clem's running in there. There's no Banelings. There's not too much room to be crazy afraid of. Gets a few drones, picks up, goes to the main. Widowmine gets a shot on the Queen. Queen start taking it out on the bottom side. Hellions looking for a run by. Clem is ready to just shove those Hellions in and get some torching on. He's throwing gasoline on the mineral line. He's going to dive in, but good drone pull by Dark. Could have been much worse for him if he didn't do that. One of the Hellbats dies while morphing. Baneling's going to finish those bad boys off. Beautiful handling here by Dark, and Clem not focus firing. Oh, there we go. He does focus fire at the end. Gets a couple more workers. Bits of chip damage getting in there. Dark's hive is almost finished. He's got 8 drones, but I think it's more important for him to start 2-2. When he actually had his gas mining interrupted, Not able to there. Banelings roll in and get 5 SCVs despite the Banshees being overhead. Looks like a depot that was under construction got taken out as well. Oh, the Infestor! Wow, okay. I love that he still runs towards an Infestor with his Stim Marines in a ball. This is what we call Clem Micro, guys. I see Terrans try the same thing he's doing here against me all the time on the ladder. Oh, no, but Dark just walks in and takes 32 kills from a Widow Mine. I was going to make fun of Clem for his micro, but he baited Dark. Oh, my God, and Dark just gets absolutely smashed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That Widow Mine, what a cinematic way to knock him out of the game, guys. Oh, oh my God, let's watch that again. Thought Dark was in an okay spot here, but he's just way too sloppy in the early game, and he simply cannot play Ling Bane at a high level. He really needs to open Roaches. Roaches is a slower pace. You don't need as much finesse. The macro is easier, and he's much better with Roaches because his macro mistakes don't get punished nearly as hard. But man, that Widow Mine is just absolutely deadly. And that is absolutely ridiculous. GG, well played. Nice micro for Clem. And even though Dark got a little bit of, you know, damage and chaos off, you just got to watch that Widow Mine and go, man, what an absolute disaster this is. He's like, haha. Looking for the fungal, looking for the fungal. He just runs a little bit too far forward, does Dark on this next one. He could have fungled there and caught a good number of the Marines as well. This is just a bad move. Would have been better if he just A-moved. His units would have been more spread out. And of course, he just says, well, that was my whole army. I got 20 Zerglings, 4 Banelings. I'm out, man. Dark knows that's an unforgivable mistake. Clem wins the finals 3-1. And that takes him to 17 wins to 6 losses against Dark this year. He's almost at 3-1. That is insane.